Hello and welcome to In the Rugmaker Studio. It's Friday. It's a bit earlier. I'm not very good at planning, apparently, these things. So you'll just have to watch the replay. And thank you for your patience on that. I will share. But for now, I'm here. It is live, but I know because I didn't announce ahead of time, probably not anybody will be here with me. That's okay. I was just getting ready because I have a hook in. I have some friends coming over this afternoon. I cleared my tables yesterday. I cannot tell you how much work it is. It's the best kind of work because I'm always so grateful to be able to have the space to host work-ins and the space to spread out in between so that I can work on a variety of projects. And that's what I do and what I like to do. But it sure makes a mess, and yeah, I do my best. Anyway, I was cutting some velvet here with my rotary cutter. And I just thought, I know people often ask, especially new people, how do you do that? How do you cut things? And do you always use scissors? And I do. I often use scissors, and I do have a Fraser cutter. Actually, I have two. But you don't need them. So if you are new to this and you are like looking at the price tag of everything and it just seems overwhelming, go back to basics and go to what you have. So I had a rotary cutter. You do want new blades. They do dull, especially when you're cutting synthetic fabrics. So you can just buy the replacement blades, easy enough to unscrew, put a new blade on. Just be careful, very sharp. And I also had these because my mom was a quilter and I inherited her quilting stuff. And so I have these rulers. You don't need these specific rulers. What you want is a heavy duty or metal or some kind of ruler that this sharp blade is not going to dig into. So the quilting rulers are lovely for that. And of course, because they have the measuring, easy measuring lines and they're see-through. You also want some kind of self-healing mat. I've seen this now at the dollar store. So you don't need this particular one or a big one like I have if you're just doing this every once in a while. But you can cut any kind of fabric this way, including wool cloth. There will be people that say it's not the right way to do it. And no, it's not the ideal way, but it is doable. And I'm going to show you how. And it's how I started when I was using wool cloth as well for hooking and punching. You can punch with wool cloth, but I'm going to show you what I was cutting it for. Stretch velvet, and I will hold up a little piece that I've already cut. It is very stretchy. It comes in a bunch of different sort of textures. The fluffiness factor can be very different from type of fabric, but it's hookable. It will also stretch differently in different directions of it. So you want to check that out. I always say cut a strip one direction, cut it the other, sort of long way, short way, depending on how your fabric is. If you just have a scrap, just try cutting and seeing what happens before you cut all the strips is what I'm saying. So cut one, stretch it. Does it behave like you want it to behave? Is it too thin? Is it too thick? And make adjustments as you go. What I am doing with it, it's another wonky piece. Wonky is my new favorite word and my new favorite thing to hook. Whatever it is, the flowers, people, they're going to be wonky. That's just where I'm at right now. But this is wonky circles, and most of it is punched, but stretch velvet, I don't like punching. It does not behave the way I want it to behave. I just find it frustrating, and so I always hook it. And that is the beauty of these things, is you can do what feels right for you. The black line here is stretch velvet, so I don't know how well you can see it. It hooks up beautifully, in my opinion. And when the light catches it, again, it's not going to show well on the screen, but the velvet does shine, and I really like little shine sometimes. And yeah, if it doesn't roll the way you want, because it is like flat looking, like the color's a bit different on the other side, which gives you another texture look to your piece. Sometimes you want, oh, there we can see the shine. Sometimes we want the shine, sometimes maybe not. There we go. It's more flat look or matte look. And so cut it accordingly, depending on what you want. And maybe you want both. Sometimes you want this, sometimes you want that. Mix it up. I'm just going to stand and I'm going to lower my camera so you can see here what I'm doing. You want to lay it out. I'm going to see these are all the ones I've cut already. And they're not perfect, but it's a wonky thing. So I'm not worried about perfect. Here is my piece of velvet. And like I said, you might want to cut it this way. Maybe sometimes I want to cut it this way because it has less stretch, and maybe I don't want the stretch. But for now, I do, and I'm just doing it 2 layers at a time. You can do more if you have a big piece and you have a sharp rotary cutter. Again, be careful. These are very sharp. You lay it on top. And if you want to be precise, and this is where if you were cutting wool fabric strips, you really do want to be in the grain. You want to follow the weave of the fabric so that you don't get cut on the bias, and all those little threads, that the ones that are holding it together, are cut, and it's going to be problematic for hooking because it won't stay together. So I'm not worried about measurements. I'm eyeballing it, but you absolutely could use your mat underneath to line it up along with your ruler and cut very precise pieces. But this is what I'm doing. And yes, it sheds. It sheds like wool. It makes a mess on your rotary. It will get all over things, but it is worth it. And look at that. It is beautiful. I'm not going to cut any more because I don't think I'll need more for this. And so I cut as I go so as to not waste. Now, if you're wondering, how do I hook with this? Just like anything else. Oh, and my hook has disappeared. Okay, I'm going to grab a hook. I need a hook to show you how to hook. So I have 2 here. Again, for new people, you don't need fancy hooks. This is a $12 hook, and this is probably nowadays a $60 hook. This one I like for really thick things. This is not thick. If I'm doing t-shirts, often t-shirts are much thicker. This will stretch and be quite thin, but I do love the handle on this, so I will use this one for that. But otherwise, it's sort of personal preference, and you don't need all the fancy tools when you're starting out, and you can still make wonderful work. The fancy tools, I think, are about making it comfortable, doing it for hours and hours. So this feels really comfortable for hours and hours. So in my hand, I'm holding it like any other piece of wool or yarn. When I'm hooking, I'm right-handed. So that one, the hook is in my right hand. I'm going underneath. And let's see here. I'm going to lower my camera again so you can see. And there's the tail of it. And I pull up, and it stretches as I pull, and then I pull it back down to where I want it. I'm going in the next hole I want. And again, I pull up higher than I think that I'm going to want it eventually, but it pops back down, and with my hand underneath, I can adjust it. And so that is how I hook with stretch velvet. And you can see this piece has all kinds of textures. It has this scrubby yarn, I call it. Well, that's what it's called. I don't call it that. By Red Heart. And I did punch with it. This is a velvet yarn, and I punched with it. These orange little dots are French knots in the Violet Jane yarn. I have more punching, and I do this punching. I'll show you that another day because I don't have that in front of me, but it is with the punch needle and sari silk in the green, and here I have it in yarn. Here's another version of a quilly or standing wool. Quilly is normally just the circular part, but here I went a little wonky, and I put all kinds, and then I just stitched with a needle and thread to hold it in place once I liked the shape of it. And I still haven't decided what's exactly going to happen in here. I have some little, I have some little pom-poms, like wool beads, and I might try and incorporate them. That's yet to be decided. And I'm going to show you a little update on my geraniums, my rooster in geraniums, because I have made a little progress since last week. Not very much. I'm not afraid. I've been working on other projects. And so here is, there's my phone. Here's the back of it. So I work from the back when I'm punching. And if you remember last week, I did not have this pale pink in here. It's almost a cream on the computer right now. But again, I needed the value change. And remember, I'm going for wonky. This is not meant to be realistic. And I have not trimmed on my tail, so you have to bear with me here. Ooh. And yeah, moving this frame is not easy. But there we go. It is my upside down geranium now. And you can see it's pretty wonky. It is full of texture. There's sari silk and yarn in there in different colors. But it is what I want. Like it's coming together to be the look that I think I'm going for. There's still some tweaking that might happen. But I love the hot pink. I absolutely love it. And I love the texture. And I think it's creating the look I want, which was that look of going into a greenhouse in the spring, like one of those super big greenhouses where they have like just seems like miles. Of course it's not, but meters and meters or yards and yards of each of the flowers like that you can buy. And so like the geraniums, when they had them, I can picture going in as a kid and just seeing like what felt like miles of the hot pink. And then you'd move over and they'd be the red ones. And then there'd be the orange ones or the peach ones. And they almost glistened and they looked fluorescent to me. Like the pink ones looked fluorescent. So that is the look I'm going for. And I think I'm capturing it. I'm looking forward to getting more in some of the other elements. Oh, here we go. Let's see if I can, it is very, there we go. There we go. I feel like the next I might jump over after I've sort of figured out, if you will, and do some of the leaves to get a feeling for the leaves. And then I will jump over to the rooster to sort of do that. I like to get sort of the elements sort of confirmed in my mind that I'm happy with, and then I can fill them in. Then it becomes more of the coloring in once I know what I'm aiming for. And I like to do different elements, even the flower pot. I have an idea for the flower pot. I really want terracotta pot. So yeah, that is my current big project. I hope to work on it a little bit more. I have my wonky one to finish, and I have a few other projects on the go. Like I said, I had to pick up quite a few things off this table to make room for friends coming over shortly. And yeah, so more to come. If you are watching this and it is still wintertime or summertime, and it's not yet August 2026. We do have the hook-in coming up, or the pre-sale tickets now. It's not coming up. It is far away. I don't want to think of August as around the corner yet, but it really helps me planning and reserving the space and all of that kind of stuff way ahead of time. So I pre-sale the tickets for August 22nd, which is the Saturday, and it is over half sold out, which thank you so much to everybody who was willing to plan that far ahead. And the Friday is a special smaller group for a workshop. There's 2 workshops. One is sold out and the other one is a bit bigger, and it's with me and my friend Lara. And we'll be teaching a workshop called Permission to Play. And it's all about playing. We're going to have a whole bunch of materials to play with. We're going to have patterns for you to use if you want them. If you don't, you can use your own, and everything's included. Like we're going to bring all kinds of stuff for you to experiment with. And we're going to go through sort of tutorials on how to use or how we use the different materials like this one. We're going to make quillies. We're going to do, well, my other piece has felting. We're going to use all kinds of different tools and materials. And yeah, it is going to be a great time. And that one is also filling up. So reserve your spot today, because I have to reserve the space and I want to make sure we have enough to fill it. So thank you for watching. If you ever have questions, specific questions about what I'm doing here and I'm not answering them, put them in the comments or send me a message. I am happy to answer them. And you can see the velvet getting everywhere on me. I'm not dirty. And I will do my best to answer them in the comments, or I will do another video specifically addressing those kind of things. Thanks for watching.